Industrial Talk is brought to you by Arduino, the original all-in-one IoT platform. That's right. Go out to arduino.cc and you will find documentations. You will find devices, powerful boards to help you with your digital transformation journey. It's all there. Go out to arduino.cc, find out more, see how you can connect with these professionals to help you along with your digital transformation journey. Arduino.cc. Also, Industry IoT Consortium. At Industrial Talk, we always talk about education. We always talk about collaboration. We're always talking about innovation. And if you're a business that has any desire to be resilient to the future, you need to be able to educate, collaborate, as well as innovate with other industry professionals. That's a must. Industry IoT Consortium brings that all together. You need to be a part of this community. You need to be connected with these leaders that are all a part of the Industry IoT Consortium. Go out to iiconsortium.org. Find out more. Again, you will not be disappointed. You're just going to be happy. Hey there, and welcome to Industrial Talk, and thank you very much for your continued support. Once again, we were on site at the IoT Solutions World Congress, Barcelona. You could tell by the noise in the background, it was a hopping event. And I want to make sure that you put this on the calendar. The next installment, the next IoT Solutions World Congress is right around the corner. It is at the end of January, and you must put that on your bucket list to attend. You get great people like the conversation we're going to have with both Javier and Carlos. We're going to be talking about IoT, of course, AI, simulation, digital twin, all on this particular conversation from IoT Solutions World Congress. And you'll get to know that Carlos and Javier, they know what they're doing. So enjoy the conversation. How are you guys doing?
Pretty well.
Yeah, see, I like it a lot, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad
excited to be here.
Yeah, you should be, because it is exciting out there.
It's cool, yeah.
You both are legends. Bill Hoffman said I needed to talk to you because you guys are doing things that are really cool. Before we get into that topic, let's talk a little bit about background. Javier, give us background.
Yes. My complete name is Javier Diaz. I'm the CTO of Aingura IIoT. And my background is mainly, I'm a mechanical engineer, and I have a PhD in artificial intelligence. So from there, we started like 8 years ago, this line of applying artificial intelligence to the industry. So we are moving on that line, and that's how we are bringing real things to real life.
So forgive me, I didn't call you Dr. Javier because the card that I have is that you scribbled on Javier on somebody else's business card. So next time.
I run out of cards. Don't worry about that.
Now,
it's
Doctor,
good to end all to run out of cards.
it is. That's a good thing.
You have contacts, right?
And then that's a whole nother debate. That's for sure. Or you just sort of go
this amount of cards.
That's right.
That will go for another episode. Cards.
Yeah, that's right. All right, Dr. Carlos.
Just call me Carlos.
Yeah. Okay, I'll call you Carlos. Okay, let me just erase that.
That's just like
my notes. Yeah. Well, it's on your card right there, and I figure, okay, man.
Yeah, well, but I mean, those are for business, right?
That's right.
Fun people just have fun, right? So let's just discuss about the
Carlos.
Here, right?
Toro.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
Well, okay, I'm also a mechanical engineer, right? By definition, right? Typical mechanical engineer who transformed into a machine learning specialist. So I did my PhD in machine learning, right? That's kind of interesting because it allows me to see both sides of the story, right? What the physical thing is. I understand it, right? Because I was there in the shop floor, right? But then to try to understand how the computer will model it, right? That's the other side of the story. And this is what we are bringing here, right? So I'm currently working in Vicomtech, which is a research center in the north of Spain, the Basque Country. Beautiful, beautiful place.
Did you say the
Basque?
Basque. Hey, my wife. Hey, where is she? She's Basque. Her family was Basque.
Oh.
Oh,
is there?
yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
How cool is
So
that?
we're going to have to. Yeah, I'm telling you.
Yeah, well,
There you
Both
go.
companies coming from the much
yes,
country.
it is kind of interesting because the region is so vivid, so much industry, so much research, right? It's very, very interesting. And well, 20 years ago, they founded Fraunhofer actually, and the TV broadcasting, television broadcasting called ATV. They founded a research center to do all things related to visualization and computer science. Back in the day, you will never call it machine learning or artificial intelligence.
Right.
It was somehow like, now we're doing it. Now we call it the right way, right? And through these 20 years, we've been supporting industry from the research perspective, right? Helping them to understand their problems, trying to solve their problems to some sort, given some technology here and there, working with companies like Aingura to develop technologies with them as well. And it's been quite a road, right? Quite a road.
Okay. So I like it. You can tell they have. Hey, there's goes my wife. Basque. We're doing a podcast now, but I just hey,
coming from there.
we're doing a podcast right now. We're recording as we speak, but I had to tell you that he's from he's the Basque area. Now she's taking a picture of us.
Okay.
So what was interesting that Bill Hoppen brought up is that you have there's this real solution that exists out there today that are solving problems and delivering value.
Yep.
And you've created that sort of environment, that platform, that whatever you want to, that bed over here. Javier, give us a little background on what that is.
Yes, and actually I will start with a small story that is interesting. Our name Aingura is a buzzword for anchor. So we are trying to bring all these technologies that we have around, all these things, artificial intelligence, connectivity, edge computing. We are trying to bring it down to the real scenarios. From our, let's say, from our ADN, from our parent companies, they are mainly industrial. So all of us have worked in really huge industrial environments. So we understand and we are able, and because we are, let's say, our background is more mechanical, or other people inside the team are, let's say, traditional engineering disciplines that you can find in an industrial environment. We are able to understand and to bring those technologies to, let's say, those technologies that are on academic papers or, I don't know, in ideal situations. We are trying to bring them down, change them as decided in order to provide to the end user what they need. They don't need a machine of IoT machine or an Industry 4.0 machine. They need a machine that has high availability or high quality or other needs. So we just use all these tools together in order to solve those specific problems.
Yeah, I would imagine I need a machine that's doesn't create a headache for me if I'm a manufacturer, and I want it simple, and I want to be able to say, okay, I'm pretty simple in my needs. I've got a problem, I want a solution, and I want insight so I can make sure that problem is managed properly. Carlos, so how does that fit in with what you guys are doing?
Well, actually, that's quite interesting, right? Because when we started doing this, we were thinking, okay, what is a digital twin, right?
Yep.
What is the definition of a digital twin?
Yeah.
And how can we build something so anybody can understand it? Something very simple, because you can use digital twins for many things, right? Complex things, right? So we came up with a story, right? A storyline. That storyline doesn't necessarily has to be something that you will find. This is not a product that we are selling, right? It's something that will showcase our capabilities, our collective capabilities. It's something that is showcasing things that we have done through these many years doing research, and to be shown in a very let's say manageable way, very controlled way, but that can deliver the message. And this is what we are bringing here into the World IoT Congress, right? It's basically a pick and place cell where a robot will pick one element from a conveyor belt and it will show it to a camera. But up to that point, that is a real thing. That is something that you may find in many, many industry facilities, right? But what we have extended that with is with the augmented reality approach, where you just wear your Oculus glasses, you're somewhere in the world, right? And you are remotely controlling the robot, right? You're doing the visual inspection, right? Then you can rotate, you can move around your piece, you can actually get closer to it, and then you will validate, right? So we deliver everything, all the technologies, all the physics that have to be in the model, all the communication that needs to happen from the PLCs, et cetera, to the virtual model. And also, we put in the technology that Aingura has for energy consumption. So we are giving the information about the energy consumption at every single point in time of the cell. So the person somewhere in the world doing the verification, the remote verification process, can actually know how effective it is, how green is his operation, right? Which is very important for the carbon footprint, right?
Yeah.
And this is a lot of technologies are there, right? Like for instance, when we were doing the communication, right? You can wire, right? But and of course we wanted to have it in a wireless approach, right? Because theoretically speaking, the person doing the verification is going to be somewhere in the world, right? So we were testing some 5G technologies in our center, and then we said, why not? Let's just use 5G, right? Because we
Absolutely. Why not? Why complicate things, right?
Yeah.
Why say, yeah, we can do 5G and we can hardwire and we can just put the connectivity and just say 5G, that's it, we're done.
It was a little bit of a nightmare, because it's highly regulated. Then when we called the fair, it's like, okay, we want to put a 5G emitter and transmitter emitter, and we want to do 5G there, right? And they were like, sorry, you need permission from the government to do that. And then we said, okay, we will get it, and we got it because we are partnering with some companies in the communication world that they have bands. So Mass Mobile gave us their band for 3 days here. We are using their band here. Right?
No way.
And these things are amazing because all these companies are helping us, right, to deliver the message, right? And showcasing that these technologies are here, right? And it's not difficult for you to apply those technologies if you know how to do, where to do, which buttons to be pressed, right? And it's about the trip, it's about the road. It's about how to do it. Right?
Do you think that, we all understand the bad side of COVID? We all understand. But I think the good side of COVID accelerated a lot of the conversation here. It's like, hey, we need to have that business to be able to be resilient or whatever. I can't get out there because of whatever reasons, but I need to still look at that. And like I said, the good side is the fact that it accelerated this and those conversations were less hemming and hawing and more, we need it. What do we do? We're ready to go, even if it's going to be painful.
I mean, it's like just the other day I saw this meme over the internet. Who dropped the digital transformation of your company? COVID-19.
Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah, because it was a nice to have, right? And now it's a must have.
Yeah,
I got to tell you, and I agree with you 100%. Now, Javier, what do we have out on the floor here? What's the model? What are we doing? What if I went up to your booth? What can I do?
well, let's say that in our booth we have an integration of different technologies that are making this possible, and we are trying to mimic real applications. Actually, it's just, and I like to say it like that, it's a small model of a larger deployment that we have, at least in some levels, in a real airport, in a baggage inspection system, where we are able in this model we are able to mimic all the conveyor belts, and part of the, let's say, interesting and really easy to find in, for example, in industrial environments. Conveyor belts are everywhere in an industrial plant. So we have a small version of it, and from it we are trying to extract all the interesting things that we have, all the technologies that between Vicomtech and Aingura manage really good. So we are seeing from that scenario, we are extracting data that is able just to do some analysis related with energy consumption, with maintenance, But we also have other type of data. We have a robot that is doing some manipulation over it. We are able to have information about quality, and of course, quality is related to the inspection, as you are able to manipulation of that system of that element. You are able to inspect, and you are able to do some, let's say, reject the piece if it's not okay, and let's say a really simple okay no okay system that you might find in an industry. But of course, with this integration on high level at a digital twin, where you are able to just integrate all this information, all this data that is coming from your system, and the human in the loop is able to take decisions related to all those different environments. The human is able to introduce in that world, in that digital twin, and able to see the piece that you are manipulating, decide on this quality, but also you are able, in the same place, you are able to decide on the energy consumption or in the maintenance of your system. Let's say that's my point of view from the, let's say, industrial part, but maybe Carlos is able to give us a little bit more insights on that system.
The question I have, and we're going to venture into that, but the question I have too, and along with all the other bad things with the pandemic, I think that there was also an accelerated need to collaborate.
Yeah.
And that these technologies, these insights, this ability to be able to create innovative solutions, because of that, then all of a sudden, Javier and Carlos are talking together and they're saying, hey, we can, and there's that collaborative approach to solve a bigger problem or whatever it might be. That to me is that there's this compounding effect that exists with this technology, as well as this recognition to be collaborative, right?
Yeah, of course.
You don't have all the answers.
Yeah,
That's
key.
natural.
That's it.
That's key, actually. That's key, right?
Yeah.
So how do you, with that, and I have to ask, how did you guys come to know each other? If that is the way to, it's like, you're over here doing your thing, you're over here doing this thing. How did you guys come to?
Well, first of all, maybe, if you want to tell the story, but I will just give a summary. We are coming from the same city, and we have really common interests. And of course, we are in different companies, but the similar interests that we have just push us just to work in this way. There is it's a little bit tricky, as we have like a personal relation, but from the point of view of companies, we combine perfectly on the technologies.
Yeah,
if they are speaking about digital twins or about all this virtual modeling and all of this, we don't know about that. We done so, and we can just complement each other on that.
Yeah, I like to think that you will meet people that is meant for you, right, in the road, right? Even in a business context, right? We come from the same city, but we never met, right?
See, that's just a
We never met until we started working together, right?
Yeah.
I was working on research. Javi was recently joined a company that we were working on with. We were actually visiting a customer for a project. Javi, it was, I guess your first project then. We realized that we were actually coming from the same city, that we were married to Basque women, and that we had some kind of things, and then we start talking, and yeah.
Now, see, that's how it is. That if you want to close deals, that is where it happens, right? And that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
So as we wrap this up a little bit, and this is to you, Carlos. Where do you see it going? This is just the tip of the iceberg.
Oh yeah.
I mean, this technology, this solution, this is just beginning stuff.
For us, this is the starting point, just the starting point.
Yeah,
I mean, we've been thinking about things that we will build surrounding this testbed, right? In fact, in the DTC, right, but also to include more components, right? To make it more appealing, to demonstrate more technologies, right? And it's by no means this is ready. I mean, this is just the initial, the starting point of what can be in the future, right?
I'll tell you, that's a whole nother conversation of just, for me, just I don't circle around the water cooler like you guys, and you're talking about, hey, did you know what we could do this now? Check this out. This is new. I was reading here. This is we got to talk. I don't do that. Let's say I'm just I'm a manufacturer. I have challenges, and I'm just looking for solutions, right? And I think that it's important to be able to simplify the message and the value proposition so that I want to do it without the headaches. And I think you guys are just nailing it, man. And again, I'm going to go over to your booth and I'm going to see that augmented reality and I'm going to play around it because Bill Hoffman said I needed to. And by the way, he's up next and he's stuck in my wife with Basque heritage. All right. How do they get a hold of you, Javier? If somebody says, Javier was speaking my language, how do I get a hold of Javier?
How do you get all of Javier? Well, that's the most difficult question.
Yeah, because you got this lousy business card that you wrote on somebody else's business card. So what's your email address?
My email address is jddiaz@ainguraiot.com.
Very good. And Carlos, how do they get a hold of you?
Oh, you can follow us in our network, LinkedIn, and so on and so forth. My email is ctoro@vicomtech.org. But I think it's not going to be very difficult to find us online.
Yeah.
Well, because you know why? You're going to be out on Industrial Talk, and I'm going to have a backlink to everything. And so, listeners, you want to get a hold of them, go to industrialtalk.com, or just listen to what they said, and you just sort of reach out to them, and you will not be disappointed. Absolutely stellar job, Javier, or Javi. See, I heard Javi.
Javi.
That's right.
Yeah,
And Carlos.
that's it.
Both are doctors that don't want to be called doctors. All right, listeners, we once again are broadcasting live from IoT Solutions World Congress. Barcelona is the country. No, Barcelona is the town. How dare I say country? Anyway, you need to put this on the bucket list. You get to meet great people like Javi and Carlos. They are in it to solve problems and make your life a better, better. All right, we're going to wrap it up on the other side, so stay tuned. We will be right back.
You're listening to the Industrial Talk Podcast Network.
All right, once again, that is Javier, that is Carlos. They're talking about AI for industry. They're talking about digital twin. They're talking about simulation. They're also even talking about augmented reality, all on this particular interview. It was fantastic. All right, you can tell I'm pretty passionate. I'm very bullish about the IoT Solutions World Congress and your participation. You get to connect with people like Carlos, people like Javier, and companies that are truly focused on solving problems and have a desire to educate, collaborate, and of course, innovate. That is a must. Put that on your calendar. We're going to have a lot more. We're going to have a lot more conversations coming from this event. And then, of course, we're going to be there at the end of January. And if you're saying, Scott, how do I get on this Industrial Talk? Well, we'll be there too as well. So you just look us up. All right. Be bold. Be brave. Dare greatly. Hang out with Javier and Carlos. And you know what? You will be changing the world. That is why we celebrate you on this platform, because you are doing incredible work. Thank you once again for joining. And we're going to once again have another great conversation shortly. So stay tuned.